strongly recommend his take on agents. Amjad is going to give us a bit on
I'm just going to talk. I'm actually going to take exactly the opposite view of Swiss. And I think it's overrated to think about something as useful or not. In fact, I think at the beginning of something new, it's probably better to think about mad science experiments to do. So throw away this concept of usefulness and make some crazy shit. Mad science is played a huge part in my career, at least. Even the start of Repl.it was, what if you could evaluate a lot of different languages in the browser? And we were the first to compile C Python to JavaScript, and then Ruby, and then a bunch of other languages, and that became a startup. All my career, even all the projects at Repl.it starts with what if. So think about what if just start with a question, what if? What are you really curious about? Some of the things I'm curious about is self-organizing agents. Now we have this, now we have these software components that can actually negotiate their contracts on the fly. So if you remember sort of the agent model from programming languages like Smalltalk or Erlang, one of the limitations of it is that all the different agents have to actually understand all the different functions and functionalities of these components. But now they don't. They can actually patch themselves on the fly. They, especially with GPT's new function calling, they can call each other's functions. They can negotiate new contracts, and it becomes more like a living system. So imagine a cloud of agents kind of coming together to figure out what is the best goal, and hopefully that best goal is not to destroy the world. And speaking of destroying the world, the other day, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but Baby AGI was actually born in Repl.it. The author, who's a hobbyist coder, found Repl.it to be sort of a safe environment to do evaluations and run sort of AI in a sort of a sandbox environment. So what you can really do with that is, we give you a virtual machine in the cloud. You can read the files, you can write to files, you can evaluate, you can add dependencies, you can do all of that. And if the AI goes rogue, you just shut it down. And it's a really safe environment. The only thing you should worry about is your secrets. So especially OpenAI is a key, just make sure you have a spend limit. And honestly, you can do whatever you want with our cloud. You can abuse it. You can build self-replicating agents. I sort of quote tweeted the other day, Baby AGI, and when they were building reflection and self-editing and self-replicating. And I said, if Baby AGI self-replicates and take over Repl.it's cloud, if it happens, it happens. And it caused a freak out in the AI safety community. And actually, one of them was in DC and started lobbying against Repl.it being a substrate for agents. Obviously, I think all of this is kind of a toy. And honestly, we're so young as a field that there's too much seriousness. And I think the best thing to do is to play and to figure out what kind of projects you want to do. And we want Repl.it to be the substrate for that play. Don't run those those tricky agents on your computers or your cloud. Just run them on Repl.it. And we actually have a few ways of doing it. We have obviously the main sort of container you get when you start an environment. You can deploy a virtual machine in the cloud as well. And any of those things, if they get sort of pawned or you don't care, you can just shut it down. We'll help you shut it down. Again, if you take over our cloud, we're okay with it, as long as you're not doing it maliciously. We also have a new API, an extensions API, where you can extend the Repl.it IDE in a runtime environment, and it gives you really nice APIs writing files, execing, and do all that stuff. So you can really build these kind of concepts of being able to self-improve and self-replicate and self-organize. And who knows, maybe this is a birth of sort of a new pseudo life. And I'm really excited to see some of these things. And I think, in fact, counterintuitively, the best way to build startups is to actually start with play. Is to start with just exploring the sort of design space of agents. And the best way to do that is really brainstorm radical ideas. If you want to play with Repl.it, we're around the kitchen. We can give you some credits to do deployments or evaluations or whatever. So thank you.
Okay, you've just done.